Hey, what's going on, DDO players? Axel here. Whenever I hear about new players asking other players what class they should play, I normally see responses like, you should play a melee because they're simpler than other classes, easy to get started with, not much to learn, or not as much to learn. I see responses like, play a healer because a lot of other players will want you in their groups. It's not a role that a lot of people tend to want to take on, but it's a role that can be beneficial. So play a healer, you'll get a lot of groups, you'll make a lot of friends, etc., etc. But I always say play the class you think you'll have the most fun with, the one that fits you the best, no matter what class, race, or build, as long as it's somewhat viable, that is. So how does this fit in with the video topic and title? Well, this game is an RPG. It's a role-playing game, and you don't have to be role-playing proper to role-play. By that I mean, when you play the game normally, I think you get the most enjoyment out of the experience by playing the character, class, or race that represents you the best. Whatever fulfills whatever kind of medieval fantasy adventure you kind of have built into your imagination inside your head. If you were a real live person that lived in this fantasy world, in this medieval fantasy world, and you could pick from any class or any role in this world, what would you actually do if you could actually be in that situation? That's what class I think you should play. Have you always wanted to be a strong, lawful, good paladin that fights for his religion? Have you always wanted to be a mysterious caster that has all kinds of amazing magical abilities? Have you ever wanted to be a thief that lurks in the shadows? Whatever role that you have in your head, whatever would be the most fun for you to play out, that's what you should play. Because again, this game is about having fun. It's about experiencing things. Obviously there is a skill and there's a kind of a tier list of classes and such, but it's not something you need to be that concerned about. But we'll get more into that in a minute. But you don't have to actually be role-playing proper to role-play. By role-playing proper, I'm referring to actually taking on and acting as the persona of your character through mic, through voice, kind of like you would in a traditional pen and paper game, actually acting. You don't have to actually be role-playing like that to role-play. Role-playing in the general sense can be just playing the game normally, but doing it in a way that plays out your imagination or your inner desire to be this great warrior or this great wizard, whatever it might be. So you can actually just role-play while playing the game normally without role-playing. And I think that most people do this by default, but some people don't approach the game this way. Some people just approach it strictly as a min-max thing. Hey, I'm going to run X class, X build because it's the best right now. And I don't think, while I understand that side of it, because I used to be more that way myself, I don't think that that's the best way to get the most enjoyment out of it for most people. Some maybe, but for most, I don't think that's the best way to enjoy the game. Is it important to run a quote-unquote powerful build? In my experience, not really. I do think it's important to run a viable build that is one that can actually contribute in groups. You don't want to be that person running the swim-focused 8 wizard, 7 sorcerer, 5 fighter. That's just running behind the group, not contributing. Because at the end of the day, it's not fun to not contribute. You don't want to be a build that's so weak that you can't actually keep up with your average person you might meet in game. However, we're fortunate in that every class in DDO is viable, at least viable. Some, of course, are stronger than others, but every class can be a valuable addition to a party as long as it's built properly. So, in the end, I think we should all be focusing on having fun, playing the character that best represents you. The game, in the end, is one that will end at some point in the future. It's not going to happen soon, but at some point it will end. So until that happens, focus on enjoying the journey, not the destination. That's it for today. As always, please comment below and let me know what you think about this video and this topic. I will see you next time. You all have a good one. Take care.